The MonsterVerse lives on. As you all know, the MonsterVerse is the shared universe between Godzilla and King Kong. And as you can tell by all of the merchandise that I own of the two, I'm a huge fan of Godzilla and Kong. Godzilla was basically a childhood hero of mine, and King Kong was the guy who introduced me to the whole kaiju genre when I was like, 3 years old or 4 maybe. Either way, I love Godzilla and Kong. They're some of my favorite franchises, if not my favorite franchise as a whole. So it kinda makes sense that a fan like me would get really excited at the prospect of the MonsterVerse. Back in 2014 when I was like 11 years old, Godzilla was on a sort of hiatus for 10 years, and seeing his big return on the big screen was freaking awesome for an 11-year-old me. And when I heard King Kong was returning as well, I got even more excited because, I loved King Kong as a kid. And then finding out that the two are in a shared universe in a huge MonsterVerse, of course I'm excited. This is probably one of the best cinematic universes of all time besides the Marvel universe. Now, there was some initial fear for the MonsterVerse ending due to the fact that Godzilla vs. Kong was the final film in Toho and Legendary's contract for using the character of Godzilla, but also because Toho is going to make their own Godzilla franchises called The World of Godzilla or something like that. They're planning on making their own cinematic universe, so it kind of makes sense that people would be afraid that Toho wouldn't want any competition, so, they release their own cinematic universe without the American one interfering. But the good news is that's not how it works. Toho is eager to work with Legendary again to make another installment in the MonsterVerse. Maybe not a full-blown movie yet, but an Apple TV Plus show. Which I'm really excited for because, hey, more MonsterVerse, but at the same time I'm debating whether I should actually subscribe to Apple TV Plus just for this one show. I mean, I could just pirate it, but at the same time I want to support the MonsterVerse in any way I can, so subscribing to Apple TV Plus and contributing to the numbers would probably be the best way to do it. But either way, I'm very excited for the new Apple TV Plus Godzilla show, but just because I'm really excited doesn't mean I'm still a bit cautious. Judging by everything released about the show so far, it seems really exciting, but I do hope that there are two things that they don't do for this show. The first thing I don't want them to do is contradict the MonsterVerse's canon. In between Godzilla and Godzilla King of the Monsters, Godzilla has not been cited by the public. And according to various sources, the Apple TV Plus show is set to be in between Godzilla and King of the Monsters. Now obviously I want to see Godzilla kick some ass, and I want to see other different unique titans, and I'm sure they're gonna have a great story, but the story should not come at the expense of the established canon. If Godzilla is going to fight in a city or something where there's a bunch of people, then it's going to contradict the events of Godzilla King of the Monsters where they said that Godzilla wasn't spotted for 5 years. Now that's just one example, but you get my point. Tell a great story, just don't contradict anything else. It'll just create plot holes. And the second thing I don't want them to do is have this TV show be a requirement. In other words, I don't want it to be homework. The TV show should not be a requirement to watch any other future Godzilla movies or Kong movies. Don't make the same mistake the Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing where they're releasing Disney Plus shows that are basically a requirement to understand future events in the Marvel movies. Now, I understand that it's a shared universe so everything is connected, but at the same time everything should still feel like it can stand on its own. You know what I mean? Like, I should be able to watch a movie on its own without having the need to watch another TV show that I may or may not like. So please, writers of the Apple TV Plus show, if they're somehow watching this video, do not make the show be a requirement for the future of the MonsterVerse. It should be optional. Those are the two things that I'm worried about for this show that I hope doesn't come to fruition. But regardless, I'm still excited for the show, and I'll have my thoughts and opinions ready when it finally comes out. Besides the Apple TV Plus show, there's also that Netflix anime show called Skull Island that's also set within the MonsterVerse. We haven't gotten too much information on it, but I'll be excited when it comes out. Now, if you haven't noticed, I'm talking mainly about the MonsterVerse's TV shows. What about any future movies? Well, so far they haven't confirmed anything yet, but I'm pretty excited for anything they might come up with. I hope we at least get one more MonsterVerse movie, and even if they're gonna end it with Godzilla vs. Kong, I'm pretty content with that. We got 4 good movies, I can watch the TV shows, it's all good. I'm content with the MonsterVerse being a rather short cinematic universe, because at the end of the day, it's got everything I ever wanted. Godzilla back on the big screen, King Kong revitalized, King Kong and Godzilla fighting each other again. Yeah, the MonsterVerse is pretty great. So I'm perfectly okay if the movies end and it's just the TV shows, but if I do request one thing for the future of the MonsterVerse in terms of movies, I think they should bring along one more famous monster just to make things interesting.